welcome back to FTRL GT Sport and GT1 for rounds 13 and 14 this evening. So we'll get to the business end now. This is the third last week, we'll only get next week and then the endurance race to finish off. I'm on my own this evening. Sadly, Carl's not feeling too great, he's got a bit of an abscess, so I'm on my own this evening, I'm afraid. So you've got to just deal with my lovely twins for this evening. But for this evening anyway, we've got Tokyo South Inner and Kyoto Yamagiwa. So first of all, we've got qualifying obviously as usual. For this track, full of straights, as is all Tokyo tracks. So any car that goes well in a straight line should be good round here. So the GTR, your Corvettes and the Toyota seems to be very, very quick in a straight line around here as well. Obviously your Mazdas and your RCZ. Tom is going to struggle quite a bit this evening for the first race, so chance for maybe Rom, Lee to get a win, possibly even this evening Pagani will be very, very strong as well. So if anyone doesn't know what Tokyo South Inner is, basically got the little kind of dock section in the middle. It's not one I've actually ever driven before, it's the only one I haven't. So I'm not entirely sure what times we're going to be looking at for round here, but I'm fully expecting on board with Rom right now. For Rom to be up there. I think he's coming around, this is the last corner now. Just keeps away from the walls. So it's going about 155, 156. 156.1, and he puts it up into provisional pole, 3 times clear of Pagani. Iggy's just under a 10th behind. We've got Tom in P4 with Dartpot P5. So obviously, as I said, it's going to be very much about straight line speed around here. So you're going to need slipstream around here to get a very, very good lap time. Without slipstream, you're not going to be doing much. And obviously, with this, the update that happened a month or so ago now, I think it is. Obviously the distance you need to be car, it needs to be within 3/4 of a second. If you're even 1/4 of a tenth outside that, yeah, you don't get it at all. So who's we've got blue flags in P7. I think the back end Aaron's still got a quality ban, which is why he's not out at the moment. I don't think the blue flag league callers City Porsche have really got a lap together. I think they're just getting rid of fuel. To see City Porsche revving out maximum at the moment. So Lico on a lap at the moment, he's got no slipstream, he's coming down back straight very long through the tunnel. And this really bit with the bridge. As he's coming down, it's an incredibly long straight, so you get to the top speed of the car and you come and brake into this hairpin corner just where the pit lane is. Difficult corner, and you see Lico getting the rears. He's going around the corner trying to get away from him. He keeps it under control, and now he's got another long straight into this right hander. You just need to watch the walls on the exit round here. The biggest problem around here is definitely just keeping an eye where the walls are, making sure you don't hit them. You can nudge them. Probably lost about 10th or so there, but you can nudge them without losing particularly much. It's when you hit them at a little bit more speed and then just ruins it. 57.2, but puts up to P5. Tom has set a faster lap time, that's popped him up to P2. We circled Pagani up there. Pagani drops into P3. Line 2, just 19/100ths of a second. Separate from 2/100ths of a second. Dock section now, a little bit of the tighter section of this track. That's the only tighter section, and even then it's not particularly tight, to be honest. Just come onto this big long straight now. Lap at the moment, so that's not going to be an improvement. We'll get 6 minutes remaining, so as this being a bit of quite a long lap, Not as many quali lap opportunities where we'll only get to a free in. So you get it right, obviously. Anybody making any improvements, Nico jumps into the pit lane. That'll probably be for the final time, I'd imagine. Dark Bolt spins the car, coming towards the pit lane. So as I say, I expect Megatron to struggle this evening. He'll be one of the guys that will be walking this over as quick as humanly possible. And that Mazda is been a little bit, well, it's been quite badly hindered in the latest update, and it's always not exactly been a particularly good car for these kind of circuits. Just grazes the wall now, gets away from that. He's coming around, is he going to improve? Looks like it will improve, 57.4, but I think it keeps him in P7. Blue flags in the pits at the moment. What's he doing? Just waiting for it to go out. City Posh is on a lap at the moment in that Honda. Doesn't get the best run through there, you kind of want to be further over. So you get the best exit. Oh, and that's not going to help either, as he hits the wall, and that's a little bit more than you would want to hit the wall there, so it's not going to be the best lap here. Does put him on to P7, only 1/1000 quicker than Megatron, but there is time in that, quite a bit of time in that. In all fairness there, there's even from that very short bit we watched there, he messed up his line for the kind of twisty section, and then in the final corner he hit the wall, so definitely at least half a second I'd say in that time there from City Posh. Dark Ball maybe a little bit disappointed, he was one of the quickest in practice around here and from the practice session, so I think Dark Ball in his last lap you will see him improve a bit. Lee Cole as well, he might improve quite a bit. I think he's in a good time there. Tolman's got a very good lap time in that car. That car shouldn't be that high up. In all honesty, it's quite a bit down in straight line speed. It's not a good car for this kind of circuit. The second circuit at Kyoto will be much better for Tom. Even then, that's still quite a power circuit. You need a car that's very stable though, in fairness. Gary comes out and hits for final time. Iggy's on his lap at the moment, so a lot of them are now spreading out now, so they're not having that slipstream effect, which gives you all the time around here. Since the update, it is a lot more difficult to get slipstream now. It is more powerful, but being so close to the car in front can hinder you, because you may not think it hinders you, but you actually subconsciously you're probably more cautious into the braking zones the way you are in the race. You don't drive the same as you do in the race and you do in qualifying, obviously. That ball does improve, and he's just behind Rom. He's 2.5 tenths off him in the 56.2. Rom is the only person in the 55s. So good showing so far from the man in the GTR. The GTR still in P6 at the moment, Nico. So he's going round towards this right hander that leads onto this extremely kind of windy straight. Oh, taps the wall on the exit. Might have got away with that, not lost too much. He's down on his time though, so probably not going to be improvement. Iggy comes into the pits, he's going to want to try and... Just seeing Aaron has put in the chat that he's very bored in the pits. I mean, being at the back here might not be the most awful place to start. Tokyo do have some interesting starts on occasion in both divisions. It can be, I mean, this one in fairness doesn't have the depth chicane, which does usually cause all the issues in Tokyo. You do have a lot of incidents that happen in the chicane. I mean, you have got the hairpin still here, in fairness, which can cause a few issues. But Danny's livery is stunning. Just pay attention to that. Absolutely stunning. Rom has just obliterated his lap time, put himself up to 55.4. Tom's improved by about half a tenth, but it's not made any difference to the position. I'm still in awe of Danny's livery. That's beautiful. That the lines on that. I'm a big fan. So Dartbolt coming around the final corner for his final lap probably. He's got time for another lap, but I imagine this will be his lap. And he's going to improve up to P2. It's still 6 tenths behind Rom. I wonder if Rom got a bit of a... Well, he must have got a slipstream. That's not without slipstream. He got 55.4, 6 tenths clear of the field. Tom's on a lap, but I think we'll go on board with someone. We'll go on board with Pagani. Expecting Pagani to be good around here. Megatron's trying to get a bit of a slipstream off the back, but he's still... See, that's the issue. He's still too far back. That's not close enough to get a slipstream. So it's pretty darn hard to get a slipstream around here, so it's going to cause some issues. Some of them trying to get it. Pagani comes round the dock section now. Oh, he's got a penalty. That's not going to help Mars. Hello, Michael. Good evening. Pagani. That's half a second. He's going to have to get rid of. But I don't know if he's going to back out a little bit. Evening unsafe. Yeah, he's backed off. I think he's giving Megatron a slipstream, which is going to help Megatron. So we're going forward with Megatron, see how he's getting on. Blue Flag's had a terrible qualifying session. Yeah, Michael just giving everyone a reminder to like the stream. Pagani gives Megatron an incredible slipstream down the straight. Pagani gets out of the way. Megatron comes into the hairpin. You can run wide there as long as you get a good exit. Iggy pops himself up to P2 and gets into the 55s. Tom improves but sticks in P4. See, he's only 1/10 up, which is odd. Expect him to be a lot further ahead. City Posh is in the best lap, but he tapped the wall in the exit. Leacock also gets into the 55s and pops himself up to P3. So improvements coming at the end of the session, and Megatron has backed out of his lap, I think. No, he hasn't. I thought he backed out. He has improved slightly. That's got him up ahead of City Posh. City Posh is on a best lap. We did see City Posh had time in hand on his lap, but he has got a full time penalty now as he drifts around the final corner. That's not going to help his lap time. That's his qualifying over. That's not going to do anything, I wouldn't suspect. Evening SPY, everyone's all of a sudden appeared. Michael's asked Com, what was your favourite livery tonight and why is it Pagani's? I don't know, I like the Red Bull inspired liveries, and that, I think it just works on that Corvette. It really, really does. It's stunning. Big fan of that. So Rom takes pole position on a 55.4, quite a dominant pole position. He's over 3 times clear of Iggy in the Honda in P2, Lee Colnell at GTR in P3, so strong showing from the GTR drivers. P4 is Dartbolt in the Toyota, and P5 is Tom in RCZ. He might not be too disheartened by that, to be honest. I mean, that car is awful around here. Pagani's P6, he might have been hoping for slightly better Pagani. It was his first lap, really. He got that, and he didn't improve after he made a bit of a mess. But watch out for Pagani. Megatron P7, and then we've got City Posh, Blue Flag. I don't know what on earth happened to Blue Flag. I don't think he ever got a properly clean lap in, and Aaron's going to be down the back. So get some predictions in. So unsafe is went for Iggy, Rom and T Smith. Now I'm going to go for Rom to win, Pagani to get P2 and Lee Cull to get P3. So I'm going to go for Rom, Pagani, Lee Cull. So all the fast cars in a straight line, I'm going to go for them. Yeah, I'm hopeless with liveries as well, Michael. Oh, honestly, it looks like a 2-year-old with a crayon. It's dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. It's a good job I've got the livery guy in my team, isn't it? Well, getting ready for lights out. SCY is going to go for the top 3, staying as they are. So, mine's with Rom, Pagani and Lee Cull. So we'll see how mine gets on as well. As lights out and away we go. Rom has had a terrible start and Lee Cull's had to get out past him as Iggy leads into... It's going to be turn 1. Lee Cull jumps up to P2 with Dartbolt. Rico is going to have P2, Dark Bolt's in P3. Rom's had an awful start and is down in P6, but he's going to try and get past Tom into P5. They come down the long straight, which leads into the dock section. Iggy leads P1 at the moment as they get into this right-hander. In this braking zone, Pagani slightly outbrakes himself, but he gets it turned in. Tom's in P4, Dark Bolt and City Posh. Rom's had a tank slapper and he's now down to P8. I was about to say P8, but I think he might even be P9 soon. But he gets his elbows out with blue flag. It's been an awful start for Rom, down to P8. Awful getaway there. Don't know what happened. But Iggy leads 4/10 away, but that is going to be obliterated. Go watch the slipstream as he's already gaining. Watch Pagani in P3 as well. Look at the time he is gaining on that car ahead. Pagani behind as well. It's going to go 3 wide. Oh, and it gets messy. Pagani up to P1, Iggy in P2. Lee Cole drops down to P3. Tom's having a look with a slipstream in P4 as they get towards the hairpin. Tom's going to try and go for a bit of a cutback, but doesn't really get the best exit there. Like Lee Cole got a good enough exit to stay ahead. Dark Bolt in P5. City Posh moves up to P6. Megatron's in P7. Rom with it. Gonna have to try and recover and keep it, get it back up that grid. He's got pace, but not been a good start for him. Aaron's in P9 and Blue Flag is still in P10. Don't know what's going on with Blue Flag this evening. I expect them maybe to be a bit higher up. Oh, Lee Cole absolutely smashes. I don't think they're all smashing the wall in fairness, but 6 of them hit the wall there on the exit. But Lee Cole more slow than others. Pagani is still ahead, but Iggy's having a look. Now, whether we see people going for moves or attempting to fuel save is one we'll have to keep an eye on. Fuel saving is going to be crucial around here. And cars like that's when Tom's car is going to be improving on the other field. Rom gets himself up to P7, getting past the Mazda, which is very sluggish around here as they go into the right hander. Megatron slightly outbrakes himself and he gets a bit of a tank slapper. Pagani, looks like Pagani's either been hit by Iggy or he's outbroke himself. He's fell down to P8, is that? Yeah. So he's having a battle with Iggy, so whether there was contact made there between Iggy and Pagani, or whether Pagani just broke himself, but nonetheless, Pagani now drops down to the back of the field. Lee Cole is going to catch up to the back with this slipstream, and there we go. He's pulling out already as he goes. He pulls back in to get a bit more slipstream, and we'll get Tom not far behind this as well. Tom's going to get interested in this with the slipstream. Look at the pace he's got as they come down and towards the hairpin. Tom brakes early. Lee Cole gets up to P1. Tom getting past Iggy up to P2, but Iggy's holding around the outside, and with the slipstream off Lee Cole's car, he's going to pull back in front, I'd imagine, of that RCZ, and Tom lifts off the power and sits in behind. Dark Bolt now catching these front 3 MP4, but he needs to get a bit of a move on there. Catch up. Rom with a fast start and recovery has passed City Posh as he just taps the wall there. Needs to watch what he's doing. He can't afford to make any mistakes, but we saw his pace in quali. Rom is one of the front runners for the win still, even at P5. Lee Cole in P1 still at the moment. It's so difficult here to get away really with the cars. So many straights, so much opportunity for slipstream. If you're within that second, it's just got free cut off as the second, sorry, then they're not going to get away. As you can see, Iggy's closing again. Tom's having a little look, but as we know, front 3 all the same on fuel. Most of the grid's the same on fuel. City Posh looks like the worst out of the top 8 as they go through the dock section. Lee Cole increases that gap to 5/10, but it's still not out of slipstream range. So soon as if he can get one of these laps out of slipstream, it gets it out to 3/4 of a second, you would fancy Lee Cole to pull away from that Honda, but as it stands at the moment, he's just over 5/10 in front, and it's going to start closing. As you can see now, it's starting to close as Iggy's in the slipstream as they go through the tunnel. Tom just behind as well, front four, 1.5 seconds behind each other. Rom's in P5, Rom's having a look as well. Dartbolt taps the wall on the exit. Rom gets up to P4, so recovery continues as they get in towards the hairpin. They all get through it nicely, but Liko still leads from Iggy, Turismo and then Rom. Dartbolt in P5, Pagani recovering as well, up to P6. He's got past City Posh and Megatron. Megatron on the back of City Posh as well. Even Steph as they come down towards this right-hander, and then switches for this left-hander back to the right-hander, and then you get the final left-hander for the final corner. Pagani clearing that gap above 3/4 of a second, importantly, so cuts off the slipstream from the two guys behind. Liko still leads here for a 4-car train for the lead, comprising of 2 GTRs, a Honda and an RCZ. Now the fuel situation, Tom slightly more than, but minimal amounts, ever so slightly more though. I am on my own this evening, sadly. Junkie Sport is in a bit of a pain at the moment, so he's sadly not with me this evening. So I'm on my own for a change, but we will soldier on. Slipstream now gonna get back into effect on this incredibly long straight once again. Will Iggy think about a move, or will he stick behind each other? It looks like Tom's in a fuel saving mode at the moment. Dartbolt's in P5, Pagani is still in P6, but he's being caught by City Posh on this lap. Liko's still in front. It looks like none of them are really up for a move at the moment. Just to say that, Iggy pulls to the inside of the hairpin. Rom and Tom having a bit of a battle as well. It's 2x2 at the moment. Iggy gets ahead of Liko, but very quickly, I'd imagine, with the slipstream, that GTR will be back past that Honda. It will be a bit of a drag race to the end, unless someone can save an awful lot of fuel. They keep going the way they are. I wouldn't rule out 5th, 6th and 7th joining this group at the front, especially with Iggy now leading it, as Iggy will not be as quick on his own out front than that GTR. I wouldn't suspect, but in fairness, he has got a good run through that corner, and it's allowed Iggy to get a bit of a gap. It's just under 3/4 of a second, but Liko's not had a good few corners. He's closing in again now, so it looks like he's going to keep him within 3/4 of a second, and with the slipstream now of this straight towards the dock section, will be close enough as Rom now gets a bit of a move on after his awful start. Rom is trying to get all the way back up. Liko breaks a lot later there than Iggy. Gets it turned in alright though, but it's kind of hampered his line through this next section. It's hampered it quite a bit, and it's now put that gap up to over 3/4 of a second. It will start to close though with the straight line speed of that GTR, and he might be able to get it within slipstream range possibly. But I think he's tapped the wall on the exit as well now, which has allowed Rom to get alongside and past. I think now he's now ahead as they come down this section to go side by side with each other. This long straight, Rom's going to try and get past. He has get past now. He needs a great last sector so he can get back into that slipstream range of Iggy. He doesn't want Iggy getting away, but we know Rom's got the pace. Is Liko going to have a look down the inside? Not they all break nice and early. Making any mistakes. Liko has bailed out though and went into the pits for a bit of an undercut. So is Pagani and Dartbolt, but Iggy carries on now. Rom in P2, Tom in P3. City Posh carries on in P4, Megatron's in P5, Aaron's in P6, Blue Flag's in P7, and then these three will come out behind. Liko comes out ahead of Dartbolt, though that gap has closed ever so slightly between Liko and Dartbolt. How's the gap up front? Still 1.1 seconds. Still staying about the same at the moment. Paul on the Rom starts closing that gap now. How's the fuel situation between these? Rom has used slightly less than Iggy, so that could come into effect. Tom's on par with Rom, actually slightly better than Rom and Iggy. Seri Posh is probably one of the worst on fuel. Megatron's got slightly more. Aaron's one of the worst as well on fuel. Nicole, Seri Posh. Nicole's under fuel quite a bit, in fairness to Dartbolt. I think Dartbolt uses a bit more fuel though, and Pagani always has to overfuel that Corvette. So to say, it likes it's a bit juicy on its fuel. It likes to get through it quite quickly, as I'm sure Michael will agree with me in the chat. Rom's got that gap now after the dog section down to slipstream range and beyond, to be honest. He's got down to 3 temps now with the slipstream down this long straight, and he's going to be right alongside now as they get towards the hairpin. And as they get towards the hairpin, I assume they will all dive into the pits as Rom goes down the inside. Iggy holds the outside line. Rom gets into the pits as well. I thought he might have carried on there, but they all come into the pits, and the fuel situation is as we suspected. Iggy with the least, Tom with the most. Blue flag still carries on. Rom comes out in the lead, and he's okay. This is odd. It's Rom fueled. Rom's not fueled. Rom thinks he can get to the end. Now, if this was anyone else, I'd be like, this could be an incredible strategy. But because it's Rom, I'm kind of pooing my pants because he has a tendency to underfuel and run out. So I mean, Iggy's obviously using a bit more fuel. We knew that anyway. But the amount of fuel difference between Rom and Iggy is incredible. Right, this is going to be an interesting watch. Can Rom get to the end? And if he can, what a strategy. But that's brave by Rom. Very brave. Tom in P2 still. Lecol got ahead of Blue Flag. Blue Flag still not pitted yet. Be in this lap. Iggy, taps the wall on the outside there. Dartbolt's early pit stops got up to P6. Pagani is in P7, and then we get City Posh, Megatron and Aaron at the back. The pack gaps hovering about the same. It came down maybe a tenth or two, but it's still without out of slipstream range, so it means you can tell by Tom gaining on Rom there through that straight that Rom is fuel saving, and he's running in a lower fuel mix. You can tell that because that's not within slipstream range, and Tom gained 2.5 temps on that straight, and Rom's car is 2.5 temps, maybe even 3 temps quicker than Tom's car. So a good indication of how much fuel saving Rom is doing at the moment. He's had a bad exit as well, which has allowed Tom right on the back. Now this is looking ever the more dodgy for Rom. Tom is doing an excellent job in P2 in a car that shouldn't be that high up, to be perfectly honest, around here. Dartbolt is in P4. We've got past Iggy. Well, Iggy. All of a sudden, Iggy's race has kind of went away from him slightly. Switches to the outside, sorry. Dartbolt maintains P4. Pagani 2.5 seconds behind in P6. Now Tom has got past Rom on the straight. Now Rom appears to be bump drafting Tom there to get towards the dock section for the 8th time. Only just over 5 minutes left, so going to be talking about 2 more laps after this. I'm trying to work. Yeah. Actually, 56 a minute. You're actually, it's going to be 3 more laps. I actually should say it's going to be 3 laps left for all of these guys as Dartbolt has been overtook down the straight. you would expect by Iggy. To P4. Lee is in a bit of no man's land. He's without. He's not got slipstream from in front, and he's out of slipstream range from behind. So he's just kind of sitting him there in P3. Ron has a bit of a slide on exit, which is hindered his exit slightly. Dartbolt's probably going to get back past Iggy, I'd imagine. The next straight. Let's come into this twisty section first, mind you. Towards the end of the lap. And by looking at the timing, it's going to be 3:52 for about 2 laps. And they are going to cross the line in a couple of seconds. So Tom will get to another lap. Ron will get to another lap. 3 more laps. Lee will get 3 more laps. Iggy's going to get 3 more laps. Pagani will get 3 more laps. I think Megatron will be the first. That group in P7 we're seeing here having a battle will be the first to cross the line and will have 2 more laps. The front 6 will have 3 more laps, including this one. Aaron's off the back still. Tom 3.5 temps ahead of Rom. Tom improves himself slightly, but he gets it turned in quite nicely actually. It worked out fairly good for him. Tom's car will be good around this section. Just the rest of the track, sadly, which isn't really made for that season. I think he's got ahead of Lee Cole as well in all of this. So he's up to P3. He's got a penalty though for corner cutting through the dock section. That's really the only place you can corner cut around here. So that's not going to help him, but he is making moves now. 3.2 seconds as Lee Cole dropped off the front 2. Dartbolt's in P5, but Gary's in a bit no man's land in P6 in this battle here between Megatron, City Posh from P7, P8 respectively. Between those two, I'll keep an eye on what's happening out front here. Still Tom ahead of Rom. Now Tom is ahead now. Iggy has a bit of a slide on exit. Tom is in front, which is helping Rom save the fuel he probably needs to get to the end. They're going to have... The thing is, they're going to have 2 more laps. I do not think, for the life of me, that they've got enough for 2 laps. Either of them. Iggy and Lee Cole could have played a blinder here. By fueling up more than the front 2. I just am not getting much hope here for them. 56.4. See, they're still... Will that be enough fuel for both of them to get to the end? Iggy is closing now. It's down to 2.8. It was 3.4, so it's beginning to close now. Lee Cole's going to come with him. If he can stick within slipstream range, that will help him quite a bit. Iggy's got the most fuel though out of anyone, along with Pagani. So, as Megatron has got P7 now, City Porsche in P8. Both flags had an incident and it's allowed Aaron up to P9. So they come into this dock section. Out of it again. Tom 6 temps ahead. That gap to Iggy kind of stagnating now. It's not going anywhere really. So have these two timed their fuel to perfection. Rom has near enough the same as Tom now, so Rom behind Tom has managed to save as much as he needs with the slipstream. Now this is where we'll see if Tom is fuel saving quite a bit. And he's beginning to close on him, but it's not particularly much. Rom still fuel saving behind. He still has a 1 for that penalty to get rid of. I'm sure he can get rid of that on the last lap. Definitely going to get another lap. He's got rid of his penalty as well now to come round to the final lap. They are going to have to fuel save Tom and Rom. They're nearly in the red now for the final lap. Lee Cole's dropped off the back of P4. Dartbolt and Pagani are struggling as well. Pagani's gaining quite quickly on Dartbolt. I think Dartbolt's fuel saving. As we get onto the final lap, Rom is in the red already. Big fuel difference here between the front two to Iggy. Iggy's got that gap down to 2.4. It's coming down quickly now. It's 2.3, 2.2. It's coming down very quickly now. Tom knows he has to start fuel saving to get to the end. Iggy is coming very quickly at the end of this race. Lee Cole might not, a podium might not be out of reach for him, to be honest here, with the pace that's going on in front. Look at the amount of fuel they've got left. I genuinely don't think they're going to have enough fuel to get to the end here. And if they do, they're going to be on fumes at the end. Iggy is pushing, you can tell how much he's going for this here. Iggy, if he gets a good exit and gets a good run and they have to fuel save, don't rule him out here. Tom still leads as they come through this right-hander towards this straight for the final time. They both hit the wall. Iggy takes it perfectly. 1.8 seconds. Rom's going to start gaining on Tom through this straight. Look at the fuel difference though. They're running on fumes here, but it looks like they might just get to the end. Iggy has pushed too much and he's got a 5-10 penalty. That might be it over. Rom's going to the pool, going to the inside to get the overtake done into the final corner. This is going to help Iggy though. Rom gets it turned in nicely. Iggy's still trying to come back at them, but it's not going to be enough, I think. Rom and Tom as they get towards the final few corners. Rom in the lead, running on fumes. He's got nothing left near enough to get round the final corner. He's gonna just have enough fuel to get to the end. He's timed it perfectly, and Rom is gonna be your winner. Iggy is gonna take P3 just behind Tom. Leacoll's gonna take P4. Pagani's got Dartbolt, but he's ran out of fuel, and so Dartbolt, in fairness. Both just ran out of fuel, and Pagani has took P5, Dartbolt's took P6, then City Porsche in P7, Megatron P8, Aaron P9, and at the back, Blue Flag for P10. So they did have enough fuel to the end. A perfectly timed race there by Rom. After his awful start, he's managed to claw his way back through the grid and has took the win. Rom and Tom worked together there at the end of that race there to fuel save each other. Tom allowing Rom to fuel save behind him, managed to keep them ahead of Iggy, and it helped both of them in the end up. So I'm sure we'll probably start at quarter 2 or 10 to. And for our second race, we will have Kyoto Yamagiwa. Just Pagani put into the chat. What happened to Pagani? Did Pagani outbreak himself, or did Pagani helped off the track? That's the question. Well, for the second race, we're going to have Blue Flag on pole. And it'll be Aaron in P2 with City Porsche and Megatron as well. Up towards the front. Yes, BY, you're not far off. Not far off at all. You were better than me. I got, what was mine? Rom, Pagani and Leacoll. So I actually only got one right out of the top 3. So, yeah, but it didn't go well. My predictions never go well, to be honest. I'm always quite useless when it comes to predictions. So, anyone on the track? Not yet. So this track, I mean, it's still a power circuit, I would say. You still could do with some power around here. I think the Toyota is one of the best cars around here. We're starting at 10-2, so we'll get a bit more of time. Yeah, I think the Toyotas will be fairly good around here, and Tom's car might be fairly good around here. It could do being a little bit faster in the straight, because there is a fair amount of, as much as there's corners around here, a lot of them are very quick. But yeah, this might be a little bit more balanced in terms of the cars than that last circuit. That last circuit did favour things like the GTR a bit more than some of the other ones. So obviously all 3 tyre compounds, so far I've seen everyone's out on the mediums. I've seen blue flags went on the super softs. Ooh. Well, he is starting on pole. That makes a fast starting car. So, he's going for a different strategy of going for it in the opening stint. Now, for a prediction, I'm gonna go for Tom to win this one. I'm gonna go for Tom for the win. I'll go for Iggy P2, and I'm gonna go for a Pagani P3. So go for Tom, Iggy and Pagani for my top 3. Let's see if there's anyone in the chat that's gonna give it a go. Guarantee you probably do better than me. You seem to jinx everyone anyway. Sadly today. Like Miko. Comms jinx. So in terms of the standings, I'll get your team up there. Tom is 35 points ahead. Tom has had 7 wins this season, believe it or not. Out of... There's been 12 races and Tom's won over half of them. He's had 6 fastest laps. So very, very impressive. Tom. Iggy's in P2, 141, so he's 35 points behind Tom, 176. Pagani's in third, 13 points behind Iggy and 128, and Lee Culls in P4 on 117. Now, Tom, Iggy, Pagani, Blue Flag, Rom, Artemis, City Posh, Lennon, Aaron, Linus, ASF Racing and K&K Doctor have not used a wild card. I'm just going to double check. I didn't get anything saying anyone used a wild card, but I'll double check, because if anyone that doesn't use the wild card this evening, for anyone that's watching, I did mutter something about you. I was talking about your comms jinx to me. No, I'm just going to see if there's any wild cards. Oh, other than Rom. I knew Rom was doing his wild card. Rom is using his wild card. Pagani is also using his wild card. So we see how Pagani goes in the second race. But I've not been given anyone else, so I'm assuming it's just Rom and Pagani, which will leave a fair chunk of the grid for next week, such as Iggy, Blue Flag, Artemis, City Posh, Lennon, Aaron, Linus, sorry, is left, and K&K Dot has as well, so we get SF Racing as well. Sadly he's missing again this week because due to work. So, you know, a few people doing some donuts. So Rom gets a win on his wild card week, which will certainly help his position. I don't know whether we'll livery on the Mustang. Now for this track, I'm trying to remember. Oh, it's at least going to be a free stop this race. You might see someone go for the 4-stop doing 10-minute stints, but I think the free stop will be the most popular strategy choice for everyone this evening, I would expect. Everyone seems to be on mediums, other than Blue Flag. So, definitely looks like he's going for the alternative strategy. Unsafe goes for Turismo, Pagani and Ron. Very shortly. Did have a bit of a drifting competition going on. And then we'll be starting. Interesting to see how Blue Flag does in this, starting in the different strategy by the looks of it. It only works if you can get a big enough gap. I don't think, from memory, we've ever seen it fully work, this strategy. I mean, I knew Simmel did it a few times last season, but I don't think it ever really worked. It nearly worked once. I think it would have worked if he hadn't span it, but he was on for very good races. There was a bit of carnage at the start, but out of memory, I don't think it's ever really worked. No one's got a win from it, that's for sure. So yeah, one of the interesting things to watch, see if he can. But, yeah. Doesn't seem to work on most occasions anyway. But with the fast starting Merc, if he gets a launch alright, then he'll be leading into turn 1, that's for sure. Watch out for Pagani though, he's starting P6, I wouldn't rule out Pagani jumping up to P2 or turn 1, P3. And that fast starting Corvette should be just about to get ready. Lights out, and away we go. Blue Flag gets a good getaway, and City Porsche marches up into P2 by a good fast start. And the Honda Pagani up to P4, I was going to say P4, but he's now in a bit of a sandwich in the middle, 3 cars. He's actually been swamped there, Pagani. Megatron's up to P4. Iggy's having a battle there with Dartball for P5 and P6 as they go through the S's. Pagani gets a bit of a wiggle on and he's down the inside of Iggy as they go down towards the next left-hander. Dartball outbreaks himself slightly and he's off the track. Then Iggy gives Pagani a nudge. That puts Pagani off. So Pagani's down to P8, that might be P9 as they come down towards this kind of chicane type bit. Pagani gets overtook by Lee Call as well now, so Pagani's dropped all the way down to P9. Dartball's still going off the track in the background, so it's been an awful start from Dartball. But Blue Flag leads over a second now, and he has started on the super soft tyres. Mike's went for Pagani, Tom and Aaron for the top 3. Aaron does like it around here, but sadly that car isn't great at the moment. Oh, who's that in the background? City Posh? That looks like City Posh to me. It is City Posh in the background. That is easy corner to do that on. It's very, very difficult at the end, and he looks like he's drifting around the outside. He's got it. Yeah, he's got it. Good job. Just about caught it. And he's down to P8 now, so it's not been a good lap. Lico gets up to P6 with that. Pagani up to P7. Iggy's dropped down to P9 now. Tom up to P3 past Megatron, so Blue Flag has also had a bit of an awful run for the last corner and it's allowed Aaron to get up front in the medium tyre. Aaron doing well at the moment, but Blue Flag on the run down towards the next left-hander. He should have that move done on the inside line. He's got the faster compounder tyre right now, and to be honest, probably the faster car around here as well. So you would expect him to do quite well. Aaron's still there though as to go into this next corner, and it's going to be difficult for Aaron to try and hold around the outside of here. Difficult, can be a bit of a difficult corner this, a bit of pain. Aaron goes a bit wide on the exit, which is going to hinder his line. Tom's going to gain a bit on him there. Megatron's in P4, a bit of a gap back to P5, just Lico and Rom. And Pagani P7, Iggy's got past City Porsche up to P8, and Dirtbolt's in P10. Blue Flag leads now. This is Blue Flag's opportunity now. Didn't get the run at the start, but if he wants any chance of getting possible podium, he needs to shoot away, and he's not doing it at the moment. As he comes into the final corner, he's moving away ever so slightly now, so over 8 attempts, but still not doing particularly much as Tom goes for a very early stop, getting off the medium tyres. So is Pagani. Interesting strategies going on, getting off those mediums as quick as possible. Now, going into turn 1, Blue Flag goes to the outside in the cutback to try and get a good exit. Aaron seems to have got a better exit though out of turn 1 as they go around all these S's. Very, very fast, high speed sector 1. Blue Flag has a good sector 1 there. Megatron still in P3 on the mediums. So they wanted to come off, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, that box still in the mediums is Tom and Pagani. Tom's come out just behind the back of City Porsche. He's not fueled up, which is why he's not lost pretty much time. The gap out front, 1.2 seconds, so he is extending it now. Blue Flag, Aaron gets a little bit out of shape on the curb, which might give him another penalty. 1.4 seconds now, so the gap is increasing quite a bit. Blue Flag needs to get his lines right though. Aaron has a tank slapper on exit. Megatron usually runs a little bit longer than most people on the mediums, so don't be surprised to see him be one of the longest for a stop. While any of these front two come in, can't imagine Blue Flag will be in any time soon on the super softs. Aaron dives into the pits on the mediums. Megatron dives into the pits. Megatron goes for an early stop as well. Lico carries on the mediums. So does Rom. So does Iggy. Now Tom, who is Iggy, the fight between the two title challengers. Tom in a much better position, mind you, is up into the lead of this race. Not the lead of this race, into P4. Sorry, I'm losing it. He's up into P4, getting past his title rival. So, Lee, the front runner in terms of the medium runners. Now, does a fast lap there on the mediums as well, 34th lap. Good for the GTR. Just seen someone in the chat say that Lee's going to win this. So, interesting to see how he gets on. Doesn't have a good run through there in fairness, and that's put Rom right on his back. It's been an awful few corners there, and he's got all those out of shape on the curves. Rom dives it down the inside. Lico gives him the room, tries to go all the way around the outside, hold the position, gets a good exit as well. Good defensive driving there by Lico. Gets himself back into shape. Difficult corner coming up, he keeps himself. P2, Rom on the curb, gets a bit out of shape. Blue Flag coming around, can't imagine him coming in this lap. I think he'll carry on as he does. Iggy's got back past Tom. Lico dives into the pits. Tom goes back to the inside, trying to re-overtake Iggy. Will be an easy move, I suspect. Can't imagine Iggy will have the pace on those medium tyres. Still not pitted to hold round the outside. Tom gets away now from Iggy a bit. See if he can pull away. Blue flag still out in front, 3.5 seconds is the gap to Ron behind Tom in P3. Iggy's in P4, then we've got Pagani and Megatron battling for P5 and P6. Pagani's on the soft, Megatron on the super softs. Aaron on the soft tyre, having a battle with Lico. Lico, you just have to pit stop. What on earth that kind of line there from Lico? That is going to be a penalty. A 1 second penalty, that, not even half a second. That was very much on the inside of the corner. To come into left-hander, bit of a hairpin left. Slowest corner on the track. Not far. Come towards the end of the lap. Blue flag. Lead out front. It's coming down now. Quite quickly at that. He's had an awful last corner as well. Got all on the curb on the outside, and he's lost a full 8 tenths of a second for that sequence of corners. So tyres going off, wrong on the mediums, keep in check. Tom doing a very good job on those super soft tyres, and is right on the back of Rom. Dark Bolt has left the room, so I don't know if he's had a disconnect of some sort. He was languishing down the back with some issues with his car. Blue flag having massive amounts of understeer coming into the left-hander there. Car just didn't want to turn, and he just lost a fuller 5 tenths. So those tyres, they don't look particularly bad, but they have fell off the cliff. Understeering everywhere. So it is, and he just about kept out on the track there. That looked like he was going to go off again there. Yeah, that car just doesn't look particularly pleasant to drive right now. Lost all of that chunk of time he gained from starting on the super softs, and he still needs to run the mediums. So once again, it doesn't look like the super soft starting strategy has really worked out for Blue flag. Tom right on the back from to come into the next corner. I imagine we'll see Blue flag in this lap, and maybe Rom in this lap as well. Tom's looking to get past as Blue flag pops himself up into the pits, and Rom carries on, but Tom I think will be down the inside as they go down to turn 1. Easy pass, easy move, gets it turned in nicely. Tom driving impeccably at the moment on a 32.9 for the fastest lap of the race, and is flying. And we've now got a 3-4 car battle here for P3 between Pagani, Lico and Megatron and Aaron. Megatron's got himself all out of shape. Oh, he caught it. That is an incredible catch there from Megatron. He's dropped himself down to P6, but got very lucky. He managed to hold on to that there. Lico battles with Pagani now. Thank you, Unsafe. Never even saw that there. Yeah, the first race is 20 minutes, and the second race, Pagani has a slide, is 50 minutes, and you need to use all 3 tyre compounds, the medium soft and the super soft, for at least a lap each. So you do. Lico and Pagani battling. Lico trying to go down the inside. Pagani pulls it around the outside. Lico gets a relatively good exit, mind you, and he's now having a bit of a battle now. I think he might battle back out through this section. Not really an overtaking spot round here. Pagani gets himself on the curb though, which is going to allow Lico the run up the outside. I imagine he's going to try and go for a bit of a switchback move, get the best exit. He does, but he needs to watch out for a Mazda in the background of Aaron. Stick with this battle at the moment. Lico trying to go round the outside. He's not really going to find a way through there. You need to be on the inside for the next corner. So imagine he's not going to have anywhere to go. Aaron trying to go all the way around the outside. Pagani gets himself on the curb, but sticks ahead of Lico. Lico still trying to find a way past. Need to watch through here. You don't want that dirty air causing your car to go all over the shop for that first sector. This is full of high speed stuff. We've seen Megatron. What can happen? Well, he caught it. Lico right on the back now. He's going to try and go down the inside for this next corner. It's kind of chicane type corner for the left and right hander. Lico keeps it clean up into P3. Now Aaron's having a look at Pagani possibly as they come in towards this slowest corner on the circuit. Aaron goes down the inside. Pagani gives him the room, a lot of room, but he's going to have a good exit. But Aaron has a tank slapper which is going to allow Pagani possibly back past. Aaron sticks ahead though, both of these guys on the soft, Lico on the super soft. Aaron's went off just after he's went ahead of Pagani. Now Pagani's going to sweep back past up into P4. All that work that Aaron's just done, just been undone. Rom, the last one in from the medium tyre. Tom carries on the super softs for another lap at least. Lico takes his position in P2. Lico did win this race a couple of seasons ago, if I remember right. I think he did. Pagani in P3, Aaron and Megatron, P4, P5, blue flag. Let's go out P6, but he does have the mediums. Land out front, 7 seconds, and he's in the same field, so he's genuinely 7 seconds ahead of everyone in this race so far. This could, I mean, Iggy's all the way down in P9 at the moment. Don't know what's going on with Iggy. He's just not having a good time of it at the moment. He's languishing down in P8. He's come in for his stop. He's a little bit adrift at the moment. This battle for P2. Well, these guys, Lico has kind of left that battle in fairness now, and Aaron's got back past Pagani. Aaron, oh, once again, gets a bit dodgy on the gear, but it's a very difficult corner, that one. It's quite a nasty corner. You see Aaron always flashes headlights. It's not because he's flashing at anyone, it's just on the controller. I did as well. Both of these guys drive at the pits, and so does Tom. So Lico takes the lead of the race for a few laps at least. Blue flag takes P2 in the soft tyre, but he does have the mediums to run. Rom come out on the super soft after his long stint on the mediums. Rom's come out, Tom's come out just behind Rom. He's got slightly more fuel though. Rom's going to be catching up to the back of blue flag. He's right on the back of him. Going to want to get past him quickly. He's going a very long way around the corner, trying to get a good exit. He does do that. He gets a very good exit indeed. And he's going to go down the inside. Good move there. He's still just about there. Rom keeps the move. Blue flag tried to defend, but Rom with an excellent strategical move there. A very wide run so he can get a good exit. Tom now having a look at blue flag. He's right on the back of him already. He's got a good exit, and now he's going to be down the inside. Oh, blue flag's got a tank slapper, and he's in the wall. What on earth was that? That was a weird. He kind of nudged Tom off the circuit, not knowing he was there, and then he kind of got the curb, and he ended up. It's like it just spun him. So Lico now leads by 6 seconds over Rom. Now Tom does seem to be the fastest. Rom is on a different strategy, and Lico's on a different strategy, so the front three are all in different strategies. slightly different. So interesting to see what happens. Lecol will be in this lap, and then we'll have Rom and Tom are quite similar in terms of their strategies. Rom has slightly less fuel than Tom, so that gap might be quite a bit less in fairness, but those two are the front two net at the moment. Iggy's in P4. He's on a different strategy to the guys behind him. He's running one less stop to looks of it. It looks like quite a few people might actually be doing what looks to be, to me, the 4-stop strategy for this race. So it's a mixture of 3 stops and 4 stops, so it looks like Rom's going for a 3 stop. Iggy seems to be going for a 3 stop. The vast majority seem to be going for a 4 stop. Pagani and Megatron having a battle. Pagani always has to get a bit more of a gap to people as he's down the inside, as his car is very thirsty on fuel. So he's up to P6. He's got 3.5 seconds to find to Aaron. As we suspected, Lecol comes in, so that allows Rom to take the lead of the race. Gap out front between the front two, stationary. Tom's on the softs, Rom's on the super softs. So these two having a good race between them both. Both different lines, completely entered the first corner. You can take different lines around the circuit for quite a few of the corners. Iggy's 3.9 seconds behind Tom. Lee out on the soft tyre, had a much better season this one. Got the opportunity to pick whatever car he wanted. He didn't like the Lamborghini that he had last season. I think he wanted to burn the Lamborghini by the end of it, to be honest. Much more at home in his muscle car of the GTR. Likes his big cars. He's shown it this season. He's been a lot better this season. Got a few podiums by Lee this season, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got another one here. Different strategy, slightly different to Aaron, running a bit longer in each stint, a little bit more fuel and fresher tyres. He's probably net slightly ahead of Aaron, sorry. Iggy, we've no idea where Iggy filters through. He'll be in not too long. Rom's slightly extending the gap out front. It's up to 2.9. Rom is smashing it at the moment when it comes to pace, running consistently faster than Tom at the moment on his wildcard week. He won the last race. Could it be a double victory by Rom? It would be a bit of a surprise. Rom's always had the pace, but to get a double victory in this division is no mean feat at all. He's doing a good job to get 1 victory. He goes purple for the first sector, let alone 2 in the same week. So, I wouldn't rule out though. Lecol catching to the back of our Pagani, following on closely behind. Megatron behind him. After that spin, blue flag having a difficult race, and City Porsche having a very difficult race at the back in the Honda. I don't think City Porsche didn't expect to race this evening, in fairness. He's expecting to be out this evening. So I'm not entirely sure if City Porsche done much practice, because I don't think he expected to be racing, in all fairness to him. Gap staying about the same between the front two at the moment. Iggy's tyres are looking a little bit worse for wear, and his pace is just not on the front runners at the moment, so it looks likely that he's not gonna be. I can't see Iggy being in the top 3 this evening. It's a chance for Pagani and Lee to gain a bit on his tally in the championship, possibly. Pagani dropped off in the back of Lecol slightly. Lecol has had a very quick lap of 33.1. Lecol is running exceptionally quick pace at the moment. Aaron's running fairly good as well. Iggy just doesn't seem to be on the pace of these guys, and he's been caught very quickly now. And he's dropped off massively off to the back of Tom. Michael may have just jinxed Lee and Paul, so we'll see what happens. Lico going for a very wide line there, going for the cutback, going for the good exit. He's got a good exit. Whether it's going to be close enough, it might need to be a little bit of a send. I can't imagine him going for it into this corner. Backside, doesn't go for it here. Tries to get the good exit. Oh, all over the shot there. Lee went for it there. Over there. Over the curbs. Absolutely went for it. And now, coming into his first gear corner, second gear corner. Tries to get a good exit. Aaron's catching up to the back of Iggy now, so these three are condensing. Tom beginning to close that gap a couple of times now to Rom. Tom's tyres much better shape though. Rom's on the softer compound, so good at the start, and it's going to wear slightly more. Aaron and Iggy having a bit of a battle now. Aaron and Iggy. Aaron nudges Iggy off this track. Iggy dives into the pits. Aaron up to P3. Lico in P4. Lico trying to go down the inside. Aaron sweeps round the outside, trying to stay ahead. Lico with a faster car though, I imagine, will get this move done. They're going side by side though, through the first sector. Lico has to back out. Aaron had the better line through the first sector, but now faster car on the straight line. Lico will start to pull ahead slightly to come in, but Lico's going to have to sit back from the outside and try and get a cut back. Aaron covers him off. Lico needs to watch in case he runs wide. Good battle between these two guys as Lico tries to find a way through, but he's going to have to wait for another lap. Pagani now beginning to close out at the back of these now. Megatron not far behind either. Iggy's come out in P7 on the super soft tyre. Gap out front, still 2.3. Still that fuel difference, slight fuel difference between the two. Aaron's went a little bit wide, but managed to keep it on the track there. Lico to close in a little bit more. Lico needs to try and get the best possible exit here. In the last corner, Rom comes into the pits. Had enough of those super soft tyres. We'll see what pits to put on. I imagine it'll probably be the soft or the super soft, as Aaron dives into bits as well. Now we did say Lico was running a little bit more on his stints, a couple of laps extra than Aaron, so that puts Tom in the lead of the race. Lico in P2. Pagani and Aaron came in as well, as we've seen, but Rom's come out in P3, so he's come out ahead of Megatron, which is important, doesn't get held up. Imagine Tom will probably get in this lap. Oh, that's good. Oh god. Oh. That's Jesus. 10.3 seconds is the gap out front between Lee and Tom. They're on quite a similar strategy. Lee's get slightly more fuel. Tom's still in the net lead over these two. Coming up for a lap, City Porsche. Over halfway through now. Now, will Tom come into the pits now? Probably could, he can't go another lap on that fuel, but imagine with Rom just coming in, we'll see Tom in this lap. Nope, we won't. City Porsche gets out of the way of Tom. City Porsche, oh my god, big massive massive slide. Gaps staying the same between Lee and Tom. Rom going for his first full flying lap on his new compound of tyres. Imagine it'll be very quick. Megatron comes into the pits. Probably will come out around about Iggy just behind. Through the first sector, might even be purple. It holds well purple. It's 2.5 tenths purple is what it is. Flying, Rom, absolutely flying on this new set of compound tyres. Just push and push to close that gap out front. 2.5 temps still purple, not even on the softest combat tyre. Nicely through there. Aaron and Pagani closing together. Go watch Rom and see if he can get the fastest lap. He's closing in quickly onto the back of Lico. Pagani still trying to close in at the back of Aaron. Enough. 2 temps still purple as it comes through the last sector. Nicely done by Rom. Lico's had a good lap. Closing out at the back of Tom. Tom's not had the best lap. Well, Lico has picked the pace up slightly on that lap. Tom's not been able to hack it, so he dives into the pits. Rom comes across the line to set the fastest lap of the race on a 32.8. Aaron slightly ahead of Pagani still. Behind, Tom's come out in P3, 5.2 seconds behind Rom. Still that fuel difference, but the gap's increasing. Rom set an absolute flyer of a lap there, and that last lap, that in lap from Tom, wasn't the quickest. Keep an eye on this battle here between these two. These two know each other extremely well on track, teammates. They've had plenty of battles with each other. Aaron went wide and has put Pagani down the inside, and with the faster car on the straight line and the inside line, Pagani should have this done. Aaron backs out. And to find a way back past though. So if he dies down the inside, I can't imagine he will, but he does actually, in fairness, back down the inside. Who gets the best exit? Quite similar in fairness. Pagani nudging ahead now. Come into the final few corners. Aaron tries to get a good exit. Lico comes into the pits now. Lico is definitely at least in a net P3 position here. Don't know if he can challenge Rom and Tom. We'll see. Is Pagani gonna extend his gap now as Lico gets out just behind this battle? He's 15.8 seconds behind front two, but got a lot more fuel, so it's not that big a gap. It's probably 10, slightly less, that gap, and he has got fresh tyres now. Lico to push, and we know he's got the pace out here. His issue is going to be though these two battling, and these are not going to be pitting for a while. Aaron's had an awful exit though, and it's allowed Lico to get much closer to the back of these. The quicker he can get past these, the more chance he's got of possibly trying to influence the top two, getting amongst them. But he's going to need to do it quickly, and he's got an incredible run on Aaron on those fresh tyres. I think he knows he needs to dive down the inside, but he doesn't commit, and he backs out of it. He's now having a look at Aaron though, as Aaron has a bit of a tank slapper. He's not been able to yet. He's going to have to do it soon, or otherwise his chance of winning this race will be over very soon. Aaron gets wide. Lico wise to it and gets out behind him. So Lico up to P4. If he can get a good exit, that's going to help as well. Pagani with an awful exit on the curb. That's going to allow Lico the slipstream and the run down the inside. I don't think Pagani will defend particularly much here. Lico on a slightly different strategy. Fresher tyres, and he gets that up to P3. So Lico, two mistakes made by both Aaron and Pagani, and that's allowed Lico a very quick passage through. Now it's 15.7 to the leader, but as was said, difference in fuel between these three. Rom looks in prime position to win this race at the moment. That gap's still increasing slightly to Tom. If he can keep this on the road, Rom's in an excellent position for a double victory at the moment. Iggy's in P6, but he's on a different strategy as well. And I think 6th might be the best he can get, to be honest, Iggy. I don't think he's going to be able to get any higher. At the moment, Megatron's in P7, Blue Flag, No Man's Land in P8, and City Porsches are even further No Man's Land. Back and back. And the gap between the front 3 vehicles closed it by 3 tenths. Front 2 staying the same. We'll probably have, it's better to say, one more stop. Yeah, probably one more stop, I'd say. If you can get away with it. Tom's definitely going to be one stop, I'd imagine. Gary and Aaron may have to do 2 stops. Depends. May get away with doing the 1 stop. We'll see. Tom's got the tyre advantage over Rom, but Rom has track position. Leacoll setting the pace at the moment. It's the purple first sector. Gap's coming down quickly now. 14.7. He's getting that gap down quickly, and he has got a bit more fuel, but he's not going to be able to close that amount of gap, I would imagine. So it looks like a straight fight between these front 2, and Rom is in the commanding position at the moment. But Gary's got away from the Aaron. He's closing in on Aaron at the moment. Aaron more fuel and slightly better tyres. Gapped out front, closing slightly. 5.7. He's going to have to try and, if he wants only to do 1 more stop, he needs to extend this stint quite a bit longer. At least another 3 or 4 laps. And I don't think he's going to be able to get, I mean, he's doing short stints though, so I would be surprised to see Rom doing 2 stops, which would then put him into a slightly awkward position. Closing the gap still down to 14.5 seconds. Leacoll lapping quickest out of the front 3 at the moment, but he's too far back. He's really getting amongst them. Aaron's pace seems to have dropped off quite a bit in the last 2 laps, sliding quite a bit. And Iggy, even though he's got worn tyres as well, is closing quite quickly onto the back of him. It was 3.6 seconds 2 laps ago, it's now 2.1, 2.2. Will Rom come in this lap? He tries to carry on, he's coming on for another lap. Interesting to see what his fuel situation, what he does with it. Definitely lapping the quickest though of the front 3. 33.5 for the last lap, compared to a 34.1 and a 33.8 for Rom and Tom. Definitely closing quite a bit late, but a mighty effort to try and close that kind of gap out front, even though he has a bit of a fuel advantage. Rom is the worst on tyres at the moment, and if he's going to do 1 more stint, he's going to have to extend it a lot longer than the 2 behind him, because Leacoll's tyres are in significantly better shape than the front 2's. Garney's tyres look absolutely god awful. Pagani's, Aaron's and Iggy's all look awful. Megatron's, in fairness, a few people struggling with tyre wear. I would wholly expect to see Pagani, Aaron, Iggy in this lap. It's come towards the final corner. Will Pagani come in this time? Fuel situation, I imagine so. He does. Aaron follows him in. Iggy follows him in as well. Will Megatron make it 4 in on this lap? He doesn't. He carries on for one more lap. This will be his final lap. The gap is quite quickly coming down now to Tom and Lee. Rom not having a good lap so far in the first 2 sectors. Struggling now with tyre wear. The gap to Tom is closing now. Tom slightly better on tyres, slightly better on fuel. Race isn't over yet. Rom still has that slight advantage. And things like that will not be helping his tyres. Sliding. The car just looking a little bit sketchy now. Got quickly closing behind. Rom gonna try and extend. He's been trying to extend this stint as long as possible so he can do one more stop. He comes in now. Will Tom follow in? Tom will go on for another lap. Expected that, to be honest. Lee Cole, I expect to go on for another lap as well. Now, the thing is, where will Ron come out? Ron comes out just behind Lee Cole on the soft tyre. And he's filled up enough to get to the end, so Rom's now running to the end on a set of soft tyres. Tom's going to be coming in at the end of this lap. Gap between Lee Cole and Tom is in the same now, so a tyre advantage that Lee had is starting to fall. Rom's starting to decrease that gap now. Fresh tyres, quickly decreasing it. This is where Rom seems to shine. He got excellent 1 lap pace round here on that opening lap after pitting. Quickly catching to the back of Lee now, but I imagine the front 2 will be in, and it's all about then where will Tom come out in relation to Lee. Pagani's comfortably got P4 with Aaron just behind him, so looks like they two is fighting for P4 and P5. I think he's not far away in P6 now. Tom's in, Lee Cole's in, so let's go on board with Rom and see what's going to happen. Rom comes through the main straight. Tom not even out of the pits yet. Tom's just out of the pits now. Rom slightly less fuel than Tom. Tom's filled up more. Gap's 5.2. It's decreased slightly there. Get a good run for the first corner. It's just under 5 seconds. Rom on the soft tyre, Tom on the super soft tyre. Slightly different compounds. 5 seconds, it's a big old gap though. I bet would still be on Rom. Now, bit of a difference in fuel here. Rom has got the least fuel, Tom then, and then look how much extra fuel the guys behind have. Now we did this last race. Have Rom and Tom underfueled, or have they once again timed it perfectly? Interesting how much Lee Cole's fueled up more though in the same car than Rom. Rom's only got half. Lee Cole's got just under 3/4. That's a big old difference in fuel. we need to keep an eye on that. Pagani and Aaron fighting. Pagani was in P4, but Aaron's going to try and go all the way around the outside. Pagani still just ahead at this point in time. Pagani backs out though. Aaron had the inside line. Aaron slides all the way around the outside. Just about keeps it the track. Pagani goes back down the inside though. Aaron will give him the room. Pagani will get the slipstream though. And will likely re-overtake. Aaron back up into P4 as they go down the inside. Back up into P4. Good fight here between these two for most of the race. Then Aaron's going to cut back again, so then Aaron will get it back up into P4. Great battle between these two. They need to watch out for Iggy behind. He's not that far behind. So now have another run down. Pagani will try and re-overtake it again. Back down the inside. Pagani all the way back up. Aaron needs to watch what he's doing. He's went too far on the outside. Oh, he's going so well. Such a good battle. And Aaron's just given too much room and he's went far too much to the outside. Sadly for Aaron, that's going to stop his battle, and unless he can catch up to the back of Iggy, he's going to be sitting in P6 for the rest of the race. Now, the front two still get quite a bit less fuel than Lee Call behind, though I do think they might be fuel saving. And you can see if they're fuel saving. Are they shifting up? Probably. Not particularly, it must be said. Really going for it through the first sector. The gap's ever so slightly decreased. Still, it's 4.4 seconds that he needs to gain, and unless Rome has an awful lot of fuel saving, I do not think he's going to have enough in hand to catch up amount of time to Rome. Obviously driving impeccably. Rico having another solid race in P3. Pagani in P4. And there's Corvette. He's only 8 tenths ahead of Iggy. Iggy seems to be gaining more speed as they go through the race. He started off, he was quite a bit down the order and he wasn't really going anywhere. Aaron's in P6 now. Well, these all condense back up. Pagani, Aaron was trying to overtake Pagani. So the little Aaron's was a bit faster than Pagani. But whether these two can catch right up to the back of Pagani in the next few laps, wait to be seen. Gav out front has closed quite a bit actually. He's down to 4 seconds now. But it's still, I don't think it's enough, really, for Tom to be challenging Rom at the end of the race. As Rom just set the purple lap time for sector 1. Oh, Rom, oh, that's not going to help matters. He needs to watch doing that. He actually didn't lose any time, didn't he? He actually gained a bit, believe it or not. So apparently that's the fastest way around it, but I wouldn't recommend doing that very often. Rom did have the fastest lap of the race, which was a 32.8, but Tom's beat it by doing a 32.8. Very, very closely matched on pace, these two. Wait to be seen if he can do particularly much. Now, Pagani and Iggy has become a bit of a battle now. Iggy went to the inside there, kind of shoot Pagani's nose, let him know he's there, and then back out of the move, sitting in behind. Aaron's closing as well, so he once again showed him his nose, but Pagani keeps the place on P4. Eggy's got a bit of a penalty. Aaron's getting more of a penalty as well. Out front, gap. Oh, Rom's went off. Rom's went off. It's allowed Tom through. Rom has had an incident with turn 1 on the exit, and he's managed on the inside of the track, which is very odd. Must have just got on the outside, got on the curb, and it's turned him round, and it's allowed Tom into the lead of the race. This battle going on now between Iggy and Pagani, the big battle that's going on now between these three guys. Iggy pulls to the outside. Now we've got Aaron having a look as well. Iggy's going to try and go all the way around the outside of Pagani. What a move if he did that, but he's not going to be able to do it. Pagani defends and keeps the position. Now Iggy's going to have to watch. Pagani's done his mate a favour, Aaron, and Aaron gets back up to P5. Good battle here between these three, and now Aaron is going to have to look in his mirrors because he's got a Honda having a look. Aaron, after his incident, trying to get back up past Pagani. Pagani gets a good exit though, retains his position. So can any of these get past Pagani? They're going to have one more lap to do. The front runners will have 2 more laps to do. These guys will only have 1 final lap. Aaron, a bit of a wiggle on exit, might hinder his chance of getting past him on the straight, and it's allowed Iggy right on the back now. Iggy is going to pull to the inside, but he's not close enough. Aaron needs to watch. He knew what his mistake was last time. Aaron is going to get a better exit than Pagani here. Pagani all of a sudden gets himself all out of shape on the curb. That's allowed Aaron right behind him, but he had to back out slightly because Pagani was going so slowly, and Iggy is now going to go try and go down the inside of both of them and gets himself up to P4. All of these three struggling on the tyres. Pagani made a mistake there and get himself out of shape on the curb. Pagani will never give up though. He's going to try and get back past Iggy. Iggy gets that all wrong and he's sliding everywhere. Pagani back down the inside, on the outside for the corner, defending aggressively with each other. Iggy keeps his place, but he has got this 1/10 penalty he needs to get rid of. Pagani and Iggy seem to have come together there on that corner. Don't know what happened there. And that caused Aaron. City Porsche is reversing over the finish line, but Aaron's going to be the first to cross the line for Pagani's going to be the first to cross the line actually in P4. Aaron crossed the finish in P5, and then Iggy's going to cross the finish in P6. Megatron's going to come across the line for P7, getting rid of his penalty at the end. Blue Flag's going to come across the line in P8. City Porsche is going to take P9. Out front, Tom, after getting past Rom when Rom made his error, has managed to extend that gap slightly, and it's up to 1.7 as he comes round for the final time. Rom needs to watch his fuel in fairness. Luckily he's only got a corner left to go, and he's... Oh, keep yourself on the track, Rom. You're not finished yet. Tom comes round to take his 8th win of the season. Rom takes P2. Just enough fuel there on the end. Lee Cole comes home to take P3, and that rounds out the action. So Tom takes the win, Rom in P2, Lee Cole P3, then Pagani, Aaron, Iggy, Megatron, Blue Flag, and City Porsche rounds out the top 9 for that race. So, just tell you what tracks are next week for GT1. Sorry, GT1 have Maggiore week next week, so West and the GP circuit. For GT2, we've got Catalonia and Mount Panorama of Bathurst. So, we should have some interesting races next week. But that concludes our action for this evening. Thank you very much for watching once again. Remember to give the stream a little like for me. Helps us out massively, so if you wouldn't mind doing that for us. But thank you very much for watching and have a nice night.